Florida takes on Georgia. Sunday at 2 on Sunshine.
In the battle to protect your children from violent crime, you have a weapon. 1-800-WE-PREVENT. Call now. Together, we will take a bite out of crime.
The resurgent Florida Gators have rode the multi-talented Brad Wilkerson to 8 wins in the last 10 games. Wilkerson, not only the leading hitter, but the leading pitcher, winning his 9th game Friday night against Georgia. First-year Bulldog coach Robert Sapp is rebuilding the Georgia team, as sophomore Chris Crawford has been among the top dogs, leading the team in runs batted in. Crawford went 4 for 5 last night as Georgia evened the series. It's time to go Gators as the postseason is jumping upon us. Florida and Georgia coming next on Sunshine. Live from Foley Field in Athens, Georgia, it's time for Florida Gator Baseball on Sunshine Network. Today, the Gators meet the Georgia Bulldogs. And a very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mick Hubert, along with Nick Belmonte. We welcome you to another exciting day of Florida Gator Baseball. The Gators winning here Friday night 8-4, but Georgia won yesterday 7-4, Nick, and that snapped the Gators' 7-game SEC win streak.
And the beauty of the game of baseball is you put that aside, you got to play today, and the standings is the big thing right here. As you can see, the Gators need this for confidence going into next week's series against Tennessee, but also they can control their own destiny if they win here today.
Well, this resurgent Florida Gator team really has been led by improved pitching, Nick. Their ERA is really going down.
Absolutely. Over 2 runs a game. The pitchers are hotter than the Spice Girls right now. They're doing a great job. And some of the reasons is they're getting ahead in the count, keeping the ball down. And when you make strike 1 as your first pitch instead of ball 1, it makes a big difference.
Beautiful day for baseball here in Athens. The Gators will send Matt McClendon to the mound, and for Georgia, it'll be Zach Frazier. Those are the pitchers for today's game. Back with Gator Baseball after this on Sunshine. Florida Gator Baseball on Sunshine Network is brought to you in part by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. For some, recess never ends. Life's a sport. Drink it up. By Bumper to Bumper. For quality automotive service and parts, call Bumper to Bumper, 1-800-888-4074. And by Longhorn Steakhouse. Ooh, steak.
What a beautiful way to spend the day at classic Hialeah Park. The tradition continues. Great thoroughbred racing at historic Hialeah Park. The colors, the pageantry, the excitement, a wide array of foods. It all starts at 1:15. So what are you waiting for? Head for Hialeah and get racy.
With Nick Belmonte, Mick Hubert back here at Foley Field in Athens, Georgia, where the Georgia Bulldogs now take the field on this beautiful day for baseball. Georgia is 25-25, and there you see the Gators. They are 32-19 on the year, 14-12 in the East. Georgia 6-20 in the Eastern Division, as the two teams have split the first 2 games in this series. Brad Wilkerson leading the Gators to a victory on Friday night, 8-4. But then yesterday, Georgia coming back to win it 7-4 as the Gators left 10 more men on base. And that's something the Gators will try and improve upon here today. They have stranded 27 base runners in the first 2 games, as they'll try and get some run support for right-hander Matt McClendon today. And he'll be opposed by the Georgia right-hander Zach Frazier, who has a record of 6-7. And some pregame ceremonies here today at Foley Field, so We are now going to enjoy the national anthem here at Foley Field in Athens. Well, for Coach Andy Lopez, here's a look at his batting order today. David Eckstein will lead it off and play second base. He's had a good series with 6 hits. Mark Ellis, the shortstop, batting second. Brad Wilkerson will play center field today. They move him around, and he's effective everywhere, hitting third in the lineup. The catcher, Casey Smith, hitting cleanup. Right fielder, Derek Nicholson, batting fifth. The designated hitter, Chuck Hazard. Travis Andre makes his first appearance in the series today at first base, batting seventh. Josh Hudson gets a start today out in left field. Ty Martin again at third base, as he has been now for 3 straight games in this series. For the Dogs, defensively, for head coach Robert Sapp, Dustin McNally in left field, Courtney Moore in center, Chris Crawford, the star of last night's game with 2 home runs in right field. Aaron Anthony at third base, Shane Hopper playing at shortstop for the second straight day, and Hoovie McGirt at second base. Chris Hayes, who played Friday, is back in the lineup today at first base. Andy Osbolt, the catcher. And on the mound for Georgia, good look at Zach Fraser, 6 foot tall, 180-pound sophomore from Conyers, Georgia. A 6-7 record, 3.87 ERA. His 16th game, all of them starts. He has 1 complete game. He's a workhorse, pitching 102 1/3 innings, allowing 101 hits, 37 walks, 91 strikeouts for Zach Fraser, the right-hander whom the Gators will try and beat today and win in the rubber game of this series. Well, Andy Lopez, the third-year head coach of the Gators, his ball clubs have played well throughout his tenure here. They have won 65% of the games, and the Gators trying for another NCAA regional berth. Settle back and enjoy Florida Gator baseball today on Sunshine. David Eckstein stepping in, and we are underway. The first pitch of the ball game, right through there for a called strike.
Zach Fraser pitched just the other day against Georgia Tech, beat him, probably his best outing of the week. That was on Tuesday. So he is right now the ace, and he's pitching on the Sunday game.
Eckstein is hitting .338. In the last 7 games, he's hitting .448, so he's swinging a hot bat. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Strike called at the knees in the outside corner.
Well, that's what he needs to do, get ahead of these hitters, and a guy like David Eckstein right now is in his 2-strike mode right here.
High breaking ball.
What I mean by 2-strike mode, he's just going to try to put it in play, and you better not come inside to him, or some way, somehow, he'll figure out a way to get hit with a pitch.
He is 6 for 11 in the series. He swings and misses. He couldn't catch up to that hard one.
They were not even going to come inside to him with 2 strikes. They're staying away in the high heater away. You'll see it right here. Fastball up and away, gives the illusion of a strike out of the hand, and then rides up, and David couldn't catch up with it.
So Eckstein, a strikeout victim, and now here is Mark Ellis. Ellis hitting .333. There's a fastball strike in the outside corner. 7 home runs for Ellis. 33 runs batted in. And he's also having a good series here in Athens. Another strike. Frazier working quickly and quite effectively.
And what he's doing is establishing the strike zone, which is good. The umpire will see him around the plate, and chances are he'll get more borderline calls down the way.
The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and popped up on the infield, the left side. Anthony shading his eyes, and he never did locate the ball. As Anthony tried to make the catch, Nick, oftentimes the shortstop will come in on that, but I'm not sure who had the better angle there. A high sky, perhaps.
Well, it looks like the shortstop, Hopper, it looks like he's seeing the ball. And Anthony either takes his eye off it or loses it in the sun. It's too bad because Frazier did a nice job of pitching right there. Had him 0-2, came inside 0-2 and jammed Mark Ellis and got him to pop up. So nice job of pitching. His defense, again, which has killed him all year, does it again.
Brad Wilkerson, who set the Florida team record yesterday with his 20th home run. 385 hitter with those 20 home runs. He's 3rd in the league. He has 64 runs batted in.
Mick, that was the 120th error committed by the Georgia Bulldogs, which is they're gonna end up shattering their old record.
They are averaging 2.38 errors a game.
Now you just cannot get any consistency as a ball club when you do that.
Wilkerson here trying to slow down Frazier a little bit, stepping out and trying to break his rhythm.
Not to mention what it does to your pitcher's psyche. I mean, he's out there, for instance, he does a great job. He should have 2 out, nobody on right now, and he's got to battle through the number 3 and 4 hitter with a runner on first base, as opposed to 2 out, nobody on, where he could pitch with a little more confidence. Now you got him pitching from the stretch instead of the full windup.
Here's the ball swung on and hit into right center field as Wilkerson with a base hit. Now the Gators with runners at first and second and 1 away. Didn't hit it hard, but right where they weren't.
That's all that matters. Andy Lopez telling his runners to make sure freeze on a line drive.
There's Casey Smith hitting .355, 5 home runs, 47 runs batted in. Casey with 2 for 8 in the series, but he's driven in 5 runs here this weekend. Fastball missing again, and it looks like perhaps Frazier is a bit unnerved.
Absolutely. I mean, you see the difference in the way he's throwing is just in a few pitches after the error was committed.
Ellis at second, Wilkerson at first. Got a strike in the outside corner there.
Just as a pitcher, have to keep the ball down in this ballpark.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Another strike.
Gator players are commenting around the batting cage today, just saying any ball that you get up in the air here with any authority, you got a good chance of hitting it out of the yard.
Wind blowing straight out towards center field. That's off the plate. There were no home runs on Friday night, but the wind changed around. And last night, Nick, 5 home runs.
5 home runs. Balls are flying out here like crazy. Andy Lopez could start his runners here. He feels a little frisky.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss as Smith went down after a low ball. Got just a piece of it, but DeBolt held on to it. It's a pretty good pitch.
3-2. He doesn't start the runners. Ellis faking. It just gets a little tip on it. And good job by Oswalt hanging on to that ball.
So now 2 out and 2 on, and Andy Lopez saying we need a clutch hit here. Again, the Gators have left 27 men on base in this series. They have 2 on with 2 out. Derek Nicholson hitting .369 with 7 home runs, 55 runs batted in.
You know, 2-out RBIs wins you championships, and if the Gators are in a posture right here for a big hit.
That one is fouled back onto the roof, and it's now 0-2. Beautiful ballpark here in Athens, Foley Field. 68-degree day, 70% humidity, and that wind blowing out to right center under sunny skies. A very pleasant day here at the ballpark. Now the 0-2 pitch, and again fouled back onto the screen. Nicholson is just 3 for his last 17 in the past 4 games. So Gators hope his bat heats up here soon. He's hitting .369 as we've mentioned, but his average has fallen the last 10 days. Ellis at second, Wilkerson on at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside.
He's not made good pitches here. 0-2. Those are 2 unhittable pitches, and now he's getting to the point where he's going to have to come closer to the plate here, and he didn't want to have to do that. 0-2.
Struck him out, and he struck out the side. 1 hit, no runs, an error, and 2 more Gators left on the bases. Gators nothing in the Georgia batting order. Coming up next.
No runs, a hit, 1 error, 2 men left on base. Time to give away a free haircut from Big League Barbers.
No problem. We can get you anything you want.
Great, great. You'll order for us?
Sure.
Smith Lumber. The tradition continues.
Mobil presents the fastest way ever invented to get gas, Mobil Speed Pass. Just wave this key tag at your pump and it automatically bills your credit card of choice. Don't you wish you could pay for everything that fast? Speed Pass is easy. It's free, and it's only at Mobil. So now friendly serve is even faster. Mobil Speed Pass, the fastest way to get gas.
Bottom half of the first inning, and for Robert Sapp and the Georgia Bulldog, the batting order today. Dustin McNally, the left fielder, will lead off. Hoovie McGirt, the second baseman, batting second. Chris Crawford, right fielder, hitting third. Aaron Anthony, the third baseman, hitting cleanup. Lance Shannon, the DH, he had a home run yesterday. Shane Hopper, the shortstop. Chris Hayes at first base, batting seventh. Catcher Andy Oswald hitting eighth, and the center fielder batting ninth is Courtney Moore. Defensively for the Gators, they've got Hudson, Wilkerson, and Nicholson in the outfield. The infield from third to first. Martin, Ellis, Eckstein, and Andre. Smith behind the plate, and Matt McClendon is on the mound. The first pitch is swung out and hit out of play down the right side. McClendon 5-5 on the year, 7.10 is ERA. 17th game, 16th start, 71 innings, allowed 90 hits. He's walked a staff high, though, 42. There's a one-hopper down to Andre at first. He'll wave off the pitcher and make the unassisted putout. On Dustin McNally, one gone.
Travis Andre, whose mom is here in the stands, came over from Colorado to see this series. He's telling me about the 17 inches of snow they got in Colorado last week.
Here's Hoovie McGirt, 342 hitter. There's a strength. Well, it is imperative, and it goes without saying, McClendon has to keep it low. He did that last Sunday, pitching 7+ innings and beating South Carolina 2-1. Wilkerson did it for the most part Friday night, and Gray could not yesterday, and he got in trouble as the Gators lost the game.
And it also may go without saying that this is the only Hoovie in the SEC.
I think you're right. Robert Sapp is the head coach at Georgia. He won 4 national titles in junior college at Middle Georgia. Another ground ball out to Eckstein. And McGirt retired. 2 up and 2 down. That's a good start, Nick. McClendon throwing 2 ground balls.
2 ground balls, too. And a sign of keeping the ball down. Gary Henderson pointing out that this is what he needed to do to be effective today, especially with the wind blowing out.
Chris Crawford hitting .330. 12 home runs, 53 RBI. He is tied for the team lead in home run and RBI following the big game that he had here last night, going 4 for 5 with a pair of round trippers. This one is fouled back.
Gator pitching coach Gary Henderson also points out that his pitchers have just been more relaxed, getting ahead, keeping the ball down. Of course, Gator pitching staff has changed a little bit.
There's a beautiful off-speed pitch. Nice play. Good catch by Andre at first as McClendon really rifled it down there. McClendon sets him down in order on 3 ground balls. We've completed 1 inning. No score here on Sunshine.
Our owners don't drive to work. They walk. Gold Kissed Farms chicken. Tastes fresh from the farm. Because it is. Farmer-owned Gold Kissed Farms chicken. Tastes fresh from the farm. Because it is.
Now is your chance to have your very own Major League Duffel Bag. The Florida Marlins and Ryder System present Duffel Bag Night at Pro Player Stadium when the Marlins take on the Houston Astros Saturday, May 10th at 7:05. One of 13 Florida Marlins Super Saturdays. Call Ticketmaster today at 305-350-5050 for tickets and be one of the first 25,000 fans, and you'll receive a Marlins duffel bag courtesy of Ryder System. That's the Marlins versus the Astros on May 10th at 7:05. Be here when it happens.
Rubber game in the series. The Gators winning 8-4 Friday night behind Brad Wilkerson's 9th win. And then Georgia winning 7-4 yesterday despite Wilkerson's home run. Nicholson also homered. The Gators hit 2 home runs. They were both solo home runs, while Georgia hit 3. And they stopped the Gators' 7-game SEC win streak. No score as we go to the top of the second. And here's Chuck Hazard leading it off. He fouls the first pitch back onto the screen. Hazard is hitting at .270. 5 home runs, 32 runs batted in. He was 3 for 5, including a double on Friday, but nothing for 3 last night. Gator team batting average at .314, just 2 points below their average of a year ago. Oddly enough, only 2 teams have a lower batting average this year than last. I say oddly enough, and yet it's been the year of the hitter in the SEC. 10 of the 12 league teams, Nick, have better batting averages than last year.
It really is unbelievable how college baseball has gotten so offensive, and we've been pointing out the last couple of weeks some of the reasons, and got a chance to talk to some umpires college baseball last week, and some agree with us. Talked to umpire Larry DeLeonardis, who works a lot of the University of Miami games, and he agreed that these are not major league pitchers, and you got to open that zone a little bit. Otherwise, you see what's going to happen. I mean, you get 38 runs, 20 runs in a weekend series used to be a lot. Now you get 20 runs a game sometime.
Well, Hazard has struck out, and right now Zach Frazier is trying to strike out all 27 Gators.
Well, he's been ahead of the hitters all day, and not a whole lot wrong with that pitch.
In an inning and a third, Frazier has struck out 4. Travis Andre takes a called strike. Andre hitting .286, making his first start of the weekend. Couple of home runs, 15 RBI. Right there for another strike. Well, for example, the Auburn Tigers, their team batting average is 70 points higher. That's the biggest gain of anybody in the league. South Carolina is 65 points higher. Arkansas 35 higher, and so it goes. The Gators, we said, -2. Kentucky is -26 off last year's average. Josh Hudson in the on-deck circle. There's a little looper that will fall. The two Gator hits have been almost carbon copies out in short right center field.
Well, Mick, if a team has a 5 ERA, they're having a heck of a year. I remember you used to look at the WAC conference with the high altitude. If a team had a 5.5 ERA, that was an outstanding season. But the SEC, if you're around 5, if you're in the 4 or 3 area, your pitchers are having an outstanding season.
Well, here's Georgia native Josh Hudson hitting .237, couple of homers, 13 RBI, getting his first start of the weekend. Native of Columbus, Georgia. Gators will be in Columbus in a week and a half for the SEC tournament. Hudson has not played since the Central Florida game, having sat out the last 5 contests. He's actually been sitting for 16 of the last 21 games. 1-1 pitch. Bat handle pop up, foul ground right side, and Chris Hayes, I don't think, saw it early enough. Didn't get a good break.
And let's talk about the aluminum bat right there. I mean, that saves you in at bat. Pitch like that, saw it off, and just had enough juice to put it in no man's land. I mean, that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but that was another quality pitch by Zach Frazier that gets no result.
1-2 to Josh Hudson. Now Frazier was taken in the 33rd round by the Cincinnati Reds in 1995 out of Rockdale County High School in the Conyers area. Popped up, McGirt at second, 2 away. Hoovie McGirt, second base for the second straight day for Georgia. Here's Ty Martin, who's played the bulk of the season this year as the Florida shortstop, but here in this series he's been at third base and he's played the position well, hitting .292. He had a big day at the plate last night, going 3 for 4, his third 3-hit game of the year. He is throwing a lot of strikes.
Ahead of almost every hitter that he has faced, and makes a big difference. Should make a big difference in your defense as well.
It's fouled off.
Here he is again, 0-2. So it's just another situation where Zach Frazier has picked up where he left off last Tuesday night against Georgia Tech, where he had an outstanding outing. He was throwing in the low 90s in that game Tuesday night.
He was 6-5 last year. And strike 3 call. Well, he struck out 5 out of 6, and that was right down the chute. 1 hit, no runs, and a man left. The Gators need to stoke up the offense here. Bottom of the second, no score on Sunshine.
Get into baseball, then get Baseball Weekly. You'll get the most timely Major League team notes with up-to-date player stats and box scores, expert advice for fantasy players to win your league, an insider's view of big league baseball, minor league reports on top Major League prospects, a clubhouse page for younger fans, and much more. Subscribe now and get our 1997 Baseball Weekly Almanac free. You'll get complete stats from 96, championship wrap-ups, team-by-team reviews, and 97 previews at $12.95 value. So call now and you'll get 52 issues of Baseball Weekly delivered right to your door for just 77 cents an issue, plus the 1997 Almanac free with your paid order. So if you want the game, the whole game, and nothing but the game, get Baseball Weekly.
Well, yesterday in the Southeastern Conference with Friday night rain, there are several doubleheaders, and lo and behold, Tennessee took 2 from South Carolina, 7-3 and 10-7. Alabama in Oxford sweeping Ole Miss 8-2 and 14-7. Auburn won a pair in Starkville. That's no easy task. They beat Mississippi State twice. LSU beat Arkansas again. Vanderbilt and Kentucky, they were rained out. Those two teams playing a doubleheader today in Lexington. Bottom of the second, no score here between Florida and Georgia. Aaron Anthony leading it off for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the second. .365 hitter, 12 home runs, 53 runs batted in. And that rides inside and he hits him. So McClendon trying to work inside and in and out, and that pitch just, I think Nick got away from him.
A little too much movement inside, and Georgia gets a momentary break here.
Designated hitter number 17, Lance Shannon.
Well, Lance Shannon now the hitter. Shannon hitting .326, 4 home runs and 12 runs batted in. Swings on the first pitch, and a fly ball to Wilkerson in center. A line drive that Wilkerson took the measure of it. 1 gone.
Well, whatever you put Brad, he just seems to do the job. DH, first base, left field, right field, center field, closer, starter.
1 out, runner at first. Shane Hopper, the hitter. A good strike on the outside corner. Hopper 2 for 7 in the series. A couple of hits last night. Breaking ball in there. Georgia is hitting .298 as a team. That's the highest average since 1990 when they won the College World Series. They had a .304 team batting average that year.
There you go. Team wins the College World Series with a .304 batting average. That would be scoffed at today.
The 1-2 pitch. Good stop there by Smith. Runner going anyway here, and the throw is not in time. That was a good block. He kept it in front of him, but Anthony decided to take off, and he made it.
Well, as soon as he saw the ball in the dirt, Anthony very aggressive. Now watch his read here. He sees it in the dirt, and he's just going to go ahead and challenge him. The Gators, one thing they have had trouble with doing, not that they had a real legitimate shot there, is throwing out runners.
That one's fouled out of play. You know, as mentioned, Georgia hitting .298. They're up 33 points from last year. They hit just .265. They don't run much. That's only their 52nd stolen base. And as you saw, the first for Anthony. On the corner. See you later. First strikeout for McClendon.
Well, these hitters have to be watching this game and realizing that the umpire is giving the corners, and with 2 strikes, you better be up there hacking.
First baseman number 36, Chris Hayes.
That ball's
now the first baseman, Chris Hayes. There's Gary Henderson, the Gator pitching coach.
On that replay, it shows that it might have been off the plate, but you got to remember the camera is off center, so it hit the corner.
It's fouled out of play.
You got a runner in scoring position, 2 strikes. You have got to. You've got to be up there hacking. You can't be trusting the umpires.
Just outside.
And that's a situation where Casey needs to stay down. As soon as he catches that ball, don't hop up too quick, because sometimes that'll steal a pitch, a call from the umpire. If you hop up too quick, you block out the umpire's view.
McClendon 5-5, but coming off a very good outing last week. He went 7 1/3 innings against Carolina, threw 99 pitches, picked up the win in the 2-1 victory. Now ball 3. Runner at second base, Aaron Anthony. A scoreless game here in the bottom of the second. Right there at the knees.
3-1. You got to be lock and loaded on a fastball. Sometimes it doesn't get better than that.
Now the payoff pitch. Struck him out on the outside corner. And that is it for the Dogs. No runs, no hits, a man left. And we've played through 2 innings of baseball from Foley Field. It's Florida nothing and Georgia nothing.
Tired of waiting hours for one priceless sports moment? Don't bellyache about it. Run over to the phone and order the all-new video collection that goes wall to wall with nothing but the most outrageous instant replays ever. The totally incredible sports collection from Global. Not 5, not even 6, but 7 unforgettable sports videos. All for one low price of just $19.97. There's no catch. Just hours of the most thrilling, the most chilling, and the just plain weirdest moments in sports history on 7 videos you won't run into anywhere else. No other collection gives you more bang for your buck. So if you like your sports over the top, then drop what you're doing, put your fingers in motion, and call now.
Call 1-800-652-2112 to get the totally incredible sports collection for you or your favorite sports fan. 7 wild videos, a more than $100 value for just $19.97, and a double your money back guarantee. Call now, 1-800-652-2112.
With Nick Belmonte, I'm Mick Hubert. Here in Athens, Georgia. We're happy that you've joined us for Gator Baseball here on Sunshine Network today. Gators and the Bulldogs scoreless. He's got some problems there, Nick, I think.
Leading on the top of the third, second baseman number 8.
Lugga trying to work a little magic there. David Eckstein going to lead things off. He struck out to start the ball game. There's a strike.
Didn't Lugga get rated the top mascot or something recently in some poll?
I think the real Lugga did. That guy looked like an imposter.
Yeah. Well, that might not even have been a mascot.
Nick, the home plate umpire, Larry Wagner, his right arm has got to be getting tired because he is throwing nothing but strikes up there.
Good for him.
Which is a good thing, yes, sir. And there, as a result, Eckstein just had to protect the plate.
And he really did, and that's the way you're going to have to go up there with 2 strikes on you. But what Larry Wagner's doing is he's throwing those spots, he's being consistent, so he's giving the pitcher the pitch, and the hitters better take note. If they're, you're in the dugout, you better be paying attention to what's going on behind the plate.
The 0-2 delivery just off the plate. Larry Wagner calling the balls and strikes. He's from Ridgeland, Mississippi. The first base umpire, Mark Chapman from La Plaza, Louisiana, and Lyle Boudreau from Gonzales, Louisiana at third base. And that crew has done a very good job here in this series this weekend.
Not to be confused with Lyle Wagner. See if you can find Lyle Boudreau from the old Carol Burnett show.
That's right. 2-2. Right back up the middle. Eckstein with his 7th hit in the series. And here the Gators go again, getting a base runner on, and they've already stranded 3, and now they've stranded 30 in the series. In some ways, they're lucky to be 1-1 in the series. Yesterday, they had 11 hits, but they were misleading hits. They didn't get the big hit, didn't get the 2-out hit. Had 2 home runs, but they were solos. There's a throw to first, and Eckstein getting back in there.
Now the 2-out hit is just so important. If you look at teams that win titles, there'll be a slew of 2-out RBIs in there.
Again, the throw to first, and this time Eckstein has been picked off. I don't ever remember David Eckstein being picked off first base.
That seemed fairly routine right there.
Andy Lopez is coming out now to question.
Be interested to see this. Well, it looked like he got his hand in.
Oh, it sure did.
It looked like his hand got, maybe the umpire was shielded by the foot, because he was on the other side of where that foot was, and it looked like that was a fairly routine situation where the base runner got back. It was close, but it was a measured thing by David Eckstein, knowing that he would get back. Let's see it again and watch if the hand gets in there. No, the hand's in.
Yeah. And
obviously the umpire doesn't have this view. Now watch that foot. The right foot is going to shield the umpire's view of David Eckstein's right hand getting in. As you can see, the right hand is now in easily before the tag, but the umpire can't see that because that right foot is shielding it.
So 1 out now. And a low strike call.
The most surprised person in the ballpark was David Eckstein.
The 0-1 pitch. In the last 10 games, the Gators are 8-2, 378 team batting average. Breaking ball right in there. One and two, the count.
Zach Frazier, Andy Lopez, you know, argued, but he knew he wasn't going to get the changed call, but frustrated.
Left side off the glove of Anthony. Had to range a couple of steps to his left. Anthony couldn't come up with that.
You can't blame the defense there. That was a base hit all the way. Nice try by Anthony, but good piece of hitting by Mark Ellis with 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch, and a lot of fastballs that we're seeing from Zach Frazier. You can see Anthony dives to his left, just gets a piece on it. It's a fastball slider guy, but we have not seen the slider all that much here today.
So Mark Ellis on at first, his 6th hit in the series. Brad Wilkerson now the hitter. Wilkerson had a little flare single into right center field for his first at bat.
And Zach's going to, I would think, throw a wrinkle to Wilkerson. If he keeps throwing him a steady diet of fastballs, he may lose one on him.
Well, Wilkerson, the all-time single-season home run leader, surpassing Dave Falcone, whose record stood for 16 years. Wilkerson doing that last night with his 20th home run, and in his career now, 29 home runs, 3rd on the Gator all-time career home run list.
The big bopper, Dave Falcone.
Now 3-1.
And a steady diet of fastballs, and Brad, I'm sure, is going to be locked on one here.
Delivery, swung on and popped up, foul ground left side, but it's going to be into about the 3rd row of the seats back there.
A break, as you look at the Gator fans, a break for Brad Wilkerson. Not a lot of room here for foul balls. That in a lot of ballparks would have been caught, or at least attempted anyway.
They started playing on this site in 1966 at Foley Field, with $3.5 million renovation in 1990 brought the grandstand very close to the foul lines. Runner going, pitch swung on and missed. The throw tailing away, and Ellis with a stolen base. But on the other end of that, another Gator hitter has been struck out.
Ellis takes off on the 3-1 as more of a just to get the ball in motion, and finally an off-speed pitch on the 3-2 count. Good pitch to run on.
Casey Smith the hitter, and there's strike 1. Well, Frazier struck out 11 against South Carolina back on April the 13th. Pitched a complete game, and yet he lost the game. Ellis diving back into the bag. His last outing, the one you spoke of, Nick, against Georgia Tech, he struck out 9.
And Coach Sapp said that's probably his best outing.
Well, so far this has been a pretty good one.
Gators have 4 hits, but Eckstein's ball was the best one. The line drive up the middle. The rest were not scorched.
Here's the 0-2 pitch off the plate. There goes Ellis for third to throw. He's out at third base. Well, the Gators make 2 outs on the bases, on the corners in this inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. Bottom of the third coming, still no score.
Oh my! The opportunity to relive the sights and sounds of the most memorable season in Gator football history is now available on both audio and video with the Gators official championship combo package. You can purchase the videotape #1 for all, the audio tapes, the one to remember, now for only $29.95, including shipping and handling. Call 1-800-538-2666.
Now you can play golf like the pros. Join the fun at the Toyota Golf Skills Challenge National Tour, America's most entertaining golf skills competition for all ages and abilities. Test your game on 8 different shots, just like the pros. You get 3 shots at each skill and a chance to win prizes from Toyota and Cobra Golf. Whether your handicap is 3 or 30, you'll have a great time. Pick up entry information at your local Toyota dealer or wherever you play golf. To reserve your tee time, call 1-800-932-8337 today.
Nick, this last play here, the out of third's an interesting one.
Well, first of all, it couldn't be more perfect place to throw a ball on a runner going. Great place for Oswald to handle it. The throw beats him, but does the foot get in? Boy, that's bang, bang right there. Let's see if the foot beats the tag. I think it does. I think the toe got in before he got tagged on the ankle.
And yet that's the case where perhaps 9 times out of 10, a runner will be called out when the throw
beats him. Sure, and you know, we always like to point out umpires don't have 3, 4 slowed down looks like we do on it. But I understand why the Gators ran with 2 out and a runner at second.
Well, they need to gain a spark, and
exactly.
Smith was up there 0-2 against a guy who's been blowing them away. So they need to get something going. I think they realized down in the dugout that this game is all of a sudden streaking along, and the Gators are kind of left hanging on.
And maybe the catcher throws one away, gets it out in left field on a bang-bang play, and you get a run.
Andy Osbolt, who threw out Ellis. How many times do you see a guy lead off an inning after a great play, Nick? You've been working on them. You've been researching that, I know.
As a matter of fact, I have. And believe it or not, a guy that has nothing to do with the play at all leads off even more. It makes just nothing but routine play.
Then he's the unsung hero.
How about that?
Osbolt hitting .286. Fouls another off. Well, we mentioned Vanderbilt and Kentucky. They were rained out yesterday and playing the twin bill today in Lexington. Vanderbilt won game 1. Vandy 7, Kentucky 4. There's a swing and a miss. 1 gone. McClendon now has struck out the last 3 that he has faced.
Well, you talk about it in an atypical Sunday SEC game. This is it.
Courtney Moore, the center fielder, hitting .259, couple of home runs, 13 driven in. And he was way behind that fastball. Moore had a 2-out double in the 9th inning on Friday night.
Might not be a bad time to drop one down. When a pitcher is rolling along like this, dropping a bunt down, and Courtney Moore runs better than anyone on the Georgia team. Ty Martin, you got a guy who hasn't played a lot of third base this year. He's playing about even with the bag. Drop one down.
There is the bunt, but it's pushed the other way in a foul ball. Now Moore runs well. He plays out in center field, and his brother Kendrick Moore played minor league baseball for the Florida Marlins a couple of seasons ago. There is Ty Martin, who started at third base on the opening night of the season and did not play there again until Friday night. He's resided there all weekend,
but has played mainly shortstop. And, you know, getting used to running in, making that throw on a bunt is something that he'll have to do again.
That one bounces in and away.
I'm sure something he can handle, but getting the slow roller off the bunt when you're playing third is different than the slow roller you're getting when you play shortstop. There's a little more juice on that ball.
Strike 3 called. Boy, K is the letter of the day.
And K's the letter of the day. Looking, as far as George is concerned, out of the 4 strikeouts, 3 of them have been called. You've just got to go ahead and swing at that now if you've been paying attention to this game at all.
We've had 10 strikeouts in less than 3 innings for these 2 pitchers. Dustin McNally now the hitter.
With 2 strikes, you have lost the luxury of being selective up there.
McNally is 0 for 10 in the series. Hitting .340 on the year when the game began.
See what happens here now when you get the corners and the umpire, you don't hear anybody complaining. You don't hear sides complaining, hey, that wasn't a strike. But when the umpires squeeze the hitters or squeeze the pitchers, then you get complaints from both sides.
Back up the middle. Eckstein has it. Flips to Ellis. Here's the relay. Not in time. That was almost a very nifty 4-6-3 ground out.
The crowd gives it a hand just for ingenuity. Just talking about thinking on your feet right here. It accomplishes 2 things. I mean, it gets the guy with a little bit more momentum, the ball, and plus you're working on your double play.
Pivot.
That was a long shot play, but Eckstein goes ahead and tries it.
Well, you never know. Maybe McNally might slip or something. Slipping out of the batter's box. He did not, and so he's on at first base with an infield hit, and that's the first one allowed.
How many times do you see an infielder just get the ball, not even make a throw? Not David. He's not ever going to give up.
Now Hoovie McGirt.
We've got some great names in the SEC. I think Robert Schwepka, I think you had a great line last week.
That's right. He never met a consonant he
didn't like. Yes. Or I was working on that. We could call him the foul without a vowel.
That's right.
Robert Schwepka. It sounds like there's a few vowels in there, but I think there's very few.
Groovy Hoovie McGirt.
For you Austin Powers fans.
There you go.
Yeah. It's a move right there that a lot of Cincinnati Red minor league pitchers used to try, where you step off and pretend like you're starting towards home, all in the same motion.
Yeah, very good shot there. Slow roller, couple of hops. Now Martin going to throw to first, and they've got him, and that retires the side. 1 hit, no runs, and a man left. A pitcher's duel through the first third of the game. There is no score.
One car polish proved that it can take the heat. New Finish. How much punishment can just one application take? It all started with a weather-beaten car. First, New Finish restored a showroom shine with no rubbing, no buffing, Then we let the hood broil in the scorching desert sun for 20 days and baked it under highly reflective mirrors that intensified the sun's rays 6 times. Is the new finish finished? No way. After 52 heavy-duty commercial car washes, water still beads. New Finish, the once-a-year car polish.
New Finish, rated #1 by leading consumer magazines. Available at Pep Boys, Eckerd Drug, True Value, Ace Hardware, Western Auto Parts America, Walgreens, Kmart, and other leading stores.
Well, the Gator baseball team hosts Tennessee next weekend at McKeithen Stadium. Friday, May 9th, game time at 7. First pitch on Saturday is at 3. Sunday is Mother's Day, and moms in attendance can register for terrific prizes, including a hairstyling, theater tickets, dinner for 2, and a color television. Game time Sunday, 1 o'clock. For tickets, call 352-375-4683. Well, it is a beautiful day here at the ballpark. Bright sunny skies and temperature lower 70s. No score in the 4th inning. Casey Smith was up there when the last Gator inning ended as Ellis was thrown out trying to take 3rd. Well, Casey Smith starts it off here in the 4th. And Frazier starts it off with a strike and now make it 2.
Just one of those days for the Gator hitters. As soon as they step in the box, they get an 0-2 count.
Outside. Trying to get him to reach for one.
Well, he's been living on that corner. Might as well just stay right there.
A little inside now.
All right, he came inside to set up this outside pitch. But you could see nothing but fastballs.
The 2-2 pitch.
Finally a breaking ball, and he just didn't snap down on that one, just left it up.
Andy Lopez wanting to get his ball club going here. That's foul out of play down the right side.
I'll tell you what you like defensively if you're behind a guy like Zach Frazier. Just gets the ball and goes. Does not take a lot of time. Of course, now he's got to wait for his defense to get back in position after chasing a foul ball, but he's just hurrying it along.
Slap to the right side. Beautiful stop by McGirt. And he throws him out. Put a star by that play, Hoovie McGirt.
And that's what happens when your pitcher is out there dealing real quick. Your defense stays sharp. This ball's the fastball outside corner. Nice job by Casey going with it, but McGirt, who's normally a corner guy, first base and a third baseman, is just kind of playing second base, filling in here. Does a nice job.
Derek Nicholson looks at ball 1. Well, Georgia, we mentioned they're the worst fielding team in the league. After the Friday night loss, though, Robert Sapp shook up his lineup, and the one he's using today is the one that produced a victory yesterday. They made all the plays, made no errors, only the 5th time all year. This is a ball club, Georgia, that on 7 different games this year, they had committed 5 or more errors in a game. So they have been just hounded by poor fielding, but they made all the plays yesterday, and so far they've done likewise here today.
Well, to give you an idea, Mick, on how bad it's been defensively for Georgia, I was talking to Coach Robert Sapp about his defense, and he said, well, we're going to try Hoovie McGirt at second base this week, and he's a first baseman, he's a third baseman. He's not played a lot of second base. We're just going to try him and see the result.
That ball hit hard to right. Crawford traps it. Nicholson has a base hit. Well, for example, Shane Hopper has now played in his career here at Georgia all 4 positions. Last night he started at shortstop. He plays again at shortstop today, and he's normally been a corner guy as well. So they're really struggling to.
Yeah, and Shane's had a rough year defensively this year. 21 errors coming into today's game.
And he made, earlier this year, he made 5 in 1 game at second base. Chuck Hazard now.
You could almost play better without a glove.
You haven't seen me play for a while.
That's amazing. God.
Gators have out-hit them 5-1. Still scoreless, though. It's sharply down the left field line. Could be extra bases. Nicholson around second. He's coming for third. And Hazard stayed at first base. He made the big turn, got at least a third of the way, and held right there. Runners are on the corners. The play went to third base. The play, Nick, clearly was in front of Hazard, but he was cautious on the base path.
Very, very cautious to a fault. It looked like he had second base easy, and you know, with one out, it's almost worth the gamble because it keeps you out of the double play by getting down there. But it looked as if the left fielder, Dustin McNally, was giving second base up for dead. He was just going to let Chuck have it.
Travis Andre now the hitter. Boy, when your third baseman has to backhand it and dive toward the line, you just generally feel it's extra bases for the hitter.
And it was right down the line, so you got to be thinking two out of the box.
Breaking ball inside. Andre had to hit his first time up on a little flare to right center. Strike call.
Well, the break that Georgia gets, as I said, it keeps a double play in order.
Nicholson's at third. Hazard at first. Fouled off the foot of Andre.
Offensively, though, Hazard did a nice job of he kind of tomahawked that ball. Really got out around sitting on the inside pitch. They need his offense. The Gators are to accomplish the task at hand, winning this game and winning at least 2 out of 3, if not sweeping Tennessee next weekend.
Now Frazier steps off.
Gators might have to. We don't know yet. They may have to sweep Tennessee next weekend, or depending on what the Volunteers do, may only have to win 2 games.
1-2 pitch. Hit hard on a base hit right field. A run scores. Nicholson comes in as the Gators lead it 1-0. Travis Andre with an RBI to right, his second hit of the game and his 16th run batted in. 3 consecutive base hits now.
He should bring his mom to all the games. Coach Robert Sapp, 4 junior college championships. It's hard to do. There's a lot of junior colleges in this country that play baseball. To win 1 is something.
Runners at first and second now for Josh Hudson. He popped up to the second baseman McGirt his first trip. He hits this ball hard, and it's a fair ball down the left field line. Hazard round third. He's going to score. Andre coming to third, and Josh Hudson with a stand-up double down the left field line as the Gators now lead 2-0.
Well, Gator hitters starting to sit on the fastball as Frazier has thrown that pitch almost exclusively. And the second time around, the Gator hitter's looking for it.
Third baseman number 9, Ty Martin.
Now here's Ty Martin. He took a called third strike in the second inning. He swings on this pitch and hits it foul down the first base side.
Let's look at what the Gators have done second time around. After being unhittable first time around, Eckstein line drive single, Ellis single. Wilkerson was the only one that struck out, and that was on a breaking ball. Smith lines out.
There's a ground ball right side, going to get another run in. McGirt the play to first. Andre scores. It's now 3-0. And Josh Hudson also moves over to third base.
And to finish the second time around, Nicholson singles, Hazard singles, Andre singles, Hudson singles. Or actually Hudson doubles. So second time around, sitting on the fastball, the Gators have really turned this thing around. on Frazier, who dominated him the first time around.
It's exactly what the Gators needed, too, because, Nick, I was rather uneasy the first 3 innings. It looked like the game was getting away, and yet it was no score. Nothing to panic about, but they needed something to kind of break the momentum a little bit.
And especially on the road, Mick, you need this. You have a freshman out there throwing who's decidedly better than he had been pitching in a long time. He's got his confidence up. But you give him a 3-run lead, and his confidence grows even more.
Ball 1, strike 1 to David Eckstein. 1 for 2 this afternoon. Fouled it straight back. Just missed on it. Bill Eckstein with 257 hits. Trails Dave Majewski by just 5 in the all-time Gator hit parade. There's a ball hit into center field, and Courtney Moore is there to make the catch. But the Gators have broken through. A very productive 4th inning. The Gators get 3 runs on 4 hits. Bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Florida.
Loaded and ready for action.
Nobody move!
Pay-per-view delivers hard-hitting, high-flying, in-your-face excitement that just won't quit.
This could be trouble.
Gina Davis, Samuel L. Jackson.
You're an assassin working for the United States government.
I'm in the PTA.
Then quit!
A spy with amnesia. A cop with a problem.
Run for your life!
Together, they're a blast. The long kiss goodnight. It couldn't be any easier to bring home the action on pay-per-view.
No problem. We can get you anything you want.
Great. You'll order for us?
Sure.
Smith Lumber. The tradition continues.
Mick Hubert back here at Foley Field. Gators 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Georgia no runs on 1 hit. They've committed 1 error as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Here from Athens, Georgia. Gators now taking the lead. It's a good day for a little sunshine. Work on that tan, but if you're in underneath the grandstand, the breeze cools it off a little bit. But we have been very fortunate here. Weather-wise, we had severe thunderstorms on Friday night about midnight.
Leading off the bottom of the 4th for Georgia to right fielder, number 24, Chris
Last
Moore.
night the game was played under beautiful conditions after the rain vacated the area. Now it's just a glorious Sunday afternoon.
And a very important half inning here from Manny McClendon. He's got to shut them down, keep the momentum in the Gator dugout.
The 0-1 pitch. Curveball called a ball. Yeah, he needs to hang a 0 here.
Absolutely. It's a big inning. If he lets them come back and score 3 and tie it, it just dispels everything that just happened.
And he's facing some good hitters, too. The 3, 4, and 5 guys. Crawford here, Anthony next. They both have 12 home runs. 1 and 2 is McClendon ready to work. That's fouled back.
You can see now the hitter's starting to go after that 2-strike pitch on the outside corner, which is what they're going to have to do.
Crawford from Marietta. McClendon from Orlando.
And good hitters will do what Chris Crawford is doing here. You just keep battling, keep fouling pitches off till you get something that you can handle.
Ball 1, strike 2.
He's set up for a breaking ball in the dirt here.
Let's see if he'll bite on one. Instead, a high fastball has been drilled. Wilkerson watches it go over the fence. Crawford has hit his 3rd home run of the weekend. And Nick, that makes gray hairs in a manager's head, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're heading to count, and this ball ball is right down the middle. He had thrown a pretty good breaking ball on that 0-1 pitch, and I thought maybe he'd come away and throw one in the dirt, see if Crawford would go after it, because Crawford had been protecting it outside of the plate. So he had a mindset that he was going to go ahead and swing at some things just off the plate. But this is a dead red fastball, and see ya. Nice job of hitting right there.
Fastball strike on the corner.
And that was Crawford fouling off pitches till he got a mistake, and you saw what he did.
But at 1-2, he would have thrown a breaking ball down in the dirt, even if he takes it.
It's right, but
it's only 2-2.
And he threw a nice one on the 0-1 pitch.
You're wanting to see if he's going to bite on that. As you mentioned, with the stance the way he had, probably not going to be able to reach anything out there.
Well, and he was in a mode of chasing pitches on the outside corner to protect the strike zone.
2-2 to Anthony. Gator pitchers now have allowed 57 home runs. There's the pitch.
There it is there.
We had hoped earlier.
He looks like he's got a good one going today. Look at the bite on that. See, if you're protecting if you know that the umpire's calling outside corner, you're probably now more inclined to go after a pitch like that.
Lance Shannon, the hitter, swings and misses.
And if he keeps getting ahead and throwing pitches to right-handed hitters in that spot, they're not going to score a lot of runs.
You can see he's matured tremendously. Plays 6'6" and 210, so I'm not talking about physical maturity. But from the beginning of the year to now, and trying to throw low strikes, that's always been what they've tried to do. But to work inside, outside, you know, he tried to push him off the plate there earlier and then came away. And
you could tell it just by his mechanics, his wind-up. He's throwing with more confidence. He's relaxed. Gary Henderson has done a nice job, you know, seeing a situation where he had a heralded pitcher and he doesn't have success, and he's turned him around.
That pitch was up and away, and he just poked it out to left field. So Shannon sends one to left.
But you can live with that pitch because it's a 3-1 pitch. There lies the difference of the two. 3-1, then go ahead, just throw a strike and hope he hits it at somebody.
But you're right, at 1-2, don't you have to pitch like you're in command, because you are. At 3-1, right. you have to give up a little bit.
That's why you try to get ahead.
Now Gary Henderson going to the mound, and entire Gator infield will meet there. The Gators are leading at 3-1. We're in the bottom of the fourth. The Gators have added one more game to the schedule because of an earlier rainout. It'll be Wednesday against the University of South Florida. The Bulls will be at McKethan Stadium, and it's Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. So hopefully you can get on out and catch a little afternoon baseball.
Well, I tell you, this is not like adding a homecoming opponent. No. It's a tough opponent. Eddie Cardieri's clubs are always good.
Gary Henderson, Gator pitching coach.
Hendu.
Back into that dugout. And now here's Shane Hopper, who was called out on strikes in the second inning. Hopper 2 for 8 in the series. Hits this ball hard to right. Nicholson right there. He had it and then dropped it as he tried to take it out of his glove. So 2 away.
Yeah, he was toying with the idea of throwing it to first base and kind of rushed it out of his glove with the umpire right there.
Here's Chris Hayes.
First baseman number 36, Chris Hayes.
From Lawrenceville, Georgia. Probably has been on the Lawrenceville Highway many times. First ball swinging. Base hit to right. Runners at first and second.
And Mick brought that up because that's probably the road I'm going to get lost on going back to the Atlanta airport today.
Well, you know, you can always ask Chris Hayes how he gets home.
I got a.
What time is your flight?
Well, Mr. McGarity gave me a pseudo, you can't miss it, direction type, you know, famous last words. All I know is we're supposed to make a left at the Pepsi plant. I'll send you a postcard.
Well, he should know. He grew up here. Andy Osbolt, the strikeout victim the first time. He represents the go-ahead run for Georgia as the Gator lead is 3-1. They've got runners at first and second. 3 hits here in the inning. They had only 1 hit coming into this inning. Gets away on a pitch down to the dirt on a breaking ball, a wild pitch. And now we're just a base hit away from possibly tying the game.
And undoing everything the Gators did in the top of the inning. Just couldn't catch up with it. Ball in the dirt. Tried to slide out there, just didn't get there in time.
1-1 the count. Hayes at second. Shannon at third.
Big at bat right here in this ball game for both sides.
There are the runners. 2-1 pitch. Outside.
Well, you got a base open and a 9th place hitter on deck, so you don't have to make the perfect pitch here.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. Down and away, and kind of a protective swing by Osbolt.
That was a good spot right there by McClendon. He realized with the base open and the 9th hitter coming up, he doesn't have to necessarily groove one here.
3-2, 2 out. Challenged him and it was fouled back.
Osbolt, a 286 hitter on deck. 259 hitter.
Shannon at third, Hayes at second. Curveball hits out to the shortstop. Ellis throwing to first, inning over. Big out there for McClendon and the Gators. Georgia, though, scores a run on 3 hits. We've completed 4 with the Gators leading 3-1.
One car polish proved that it can take the heat. New Finish. How much punishment can just one application take? It all started with a weather-beaten car. First, New Finish restored a showroom shine with no rubbing, no buffing. Then we let the hood broil in the scorching desert sun for 20 days and baked it under highly reflective mirrors that intensified the sun's rays 6 times. Is the New Finish finished? No way. After 52 heavy-duty commercial car washes, water still beads. New Finish, the once-a-year car polish.
New Finish, rated #1 by leading consumer magazines. Available at Pep Boys, Eckerd Drug, True Value, Ace Hardware, Western Auto Parts America, Walgreens, Kmart, and other leading stores.
Three runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Gators, and a run on 4 hits and 1 error for Georgia. As we move to the top half of the 5th inning here. Let's take another look back here at this pitch, Nate.
It is a 3-2, and with the base open, he's not going to give in to him. He's going to give him the breaking ball, and you can see that's not what he was expecting, so he topped the ball, a weak ground ball to shortstop, and Osbolt is out of there. So nice call by Gary Henderson there. Nice job of pitching by Matty McClendon. The breaking ball on 3-2 instead of the accustomed fastball on 3-2. No need to groove it there with the 9-hitter on deck.
And it preserved the Gator 2-run lead. 3-1 Florida. Top of the 5th. Mark Ellis been on base twice, once on an air, the other on an infield hit. Popped up, it'll be back into the seats. Ellis has already been to the plate this season more than last. He had 205 at bats last year and 212 this season. Last year he made 48 starts. This is his 47th start of this year. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Strike is called. And the breaking ball.
Yeah, let's see if we see more breaking balls third time around here from Zach Frazier. I'm sure that they've taken note that the Gators have turned on that fastball their second time around. Now the third time around, let's see if they change it up. They do.
On the curveball, yeah.
That's the first time today he's thrown successive breaking pitches, and you got to think the Georgia Bulldog coaching staff has said, look, he's been throwing 95% fastballs, and they just ripped him second time around the plate. Now let's start throwing him some breaking balls, something they haven't seen their first time, 2 times around. And good result there for Georgia.
Well, here's Brad Wilkerson, and he was struck out on a breaking ball in the 3rd inning. 1 for 2.
Yeah, if anyone was going to get more of the breaking ball variety, I'm sure it would be Brad. But I'll tell you, the rest of the club got 95% fastball.
Ball 1, strike 1. Look out. Did it hit him? Yes, it did. Wilkerson hit by pitch on a running fastball. And with 1 out, the Gators have a runner at first base.
Catcher number 15, Casey Smith.
This ball is just going to get him, just looked like got him on the forearm. Just scraped against his forearm. 5th time of the year he's been hit.
Casey Smith now 0 for 2. Was the victim of a very fine play by McGirt at second base his last trip. That's Chris Hayes at first, holding Wilkerson on. Another throw again, and he's been picked off again. Second time the Gators have been picked off at first base.
What's going on here? See, you shouldn't take a lead that far off of the base. I'll tell you why. It's a longer run back to the base. Then he gets blocked off, and see, he had a longer way to go. This is an excellent play by the first baseman, Chris Hayes, totally blocking him off the base. But Brad is so far back of the base, his distance back, it's an extra step. See, if he's even up with the base, he can get his hand in there.
You've got a very tough angle. The difference being when Eckstein was picked off and we thought his hand got back in,
it did.
Only because he had a straight shot back in.
Exactly.
He was in line first to second base back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't run a race if you're in a stolen base mode. You don't run a race from lane 2 and then cut across over to lane 1. You stay in the lane you're running. And if you're 3-4 steps and back at second base, somewhere along the line you're going to have to get back on track. But actually what it does do, on a throw over to first base, it's a longer, it's extra time and extra steps back to first.
That's a fair ball. Casey Smith heading for second. And he's got a stand-up double. And quite possibly may have cost the Gators a run, although Wilkerson might have been at third. But at any rate, they would have had runners at second and third and only 1 out.
Did you see that right there, the hesitation, keeping his hands back? Nice piece of hitting there by Casey Smith, right on the line.
Well, for the Gators, that is double number 101. Their second today. Derek Nicholson, the hitter. Casey Smith with 7 doubles on the season. Derek Nicholson's the guy that has been proficient at hitting doubles this year. He has 19, and he needs just 4 doubles to tie the Gator single season record of 23. Nicholson's 19 doubles, ranked 5th in the league. Curveball strike. Gators with 9 hits. They've had 10 or more hits in 14 of the last 16 games. Florida had 14 hits Friday night, 11 hits last night. 1-1 delivery is way outside.
See those big arms of Derek Nicholson? Like I said, talked about how strong he looks up there. Imposing figure at the plate.
Two and 1 the count.
I don't know what that's all about. As if Casey Smith is going to take off for third, unless he's been told to do that to get the bullpen sometime.
Keith Brownlee loosening in the Georgia bullpen. That's a good look at Brownlee there. He comes from down under a lot. For a guy from Fayetteville, Georgia.
Not from Australia.
3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Straight change.
So a full count. Smith at second base with 2 out. Payoff pitch on the way. Inside, he walks him, and Nicholson sprints on down to first base. Chuck Hazard will be the hitter now with 2 Gators aboard. Casey Smith at second and Nicholson's at first for Andy Lopez. Chuck Hazard now takes a couple of practice cuts. A strikeout and a single for Hazard in this game, hitting .273.
He ripped a fastball his last time up.
There's a big rip there. At just a piece of that. Gators leading 3-1. Rubber game of the 3-game series here in Athens. Florida a Friday night winner. Georgia a winner last night. Right off the end of the bat, a cue shot. McGirt. Now the runner runs right into the second baseman, McGirt. Nicholson hits McGirt. McGirt now going down. He appears to be shaken up on the play. Nicholson has been called out, and that is going to be it for the Gators in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 5th with the Gators leading 3-1.
When flooding, rains, damaging winds, dangerous lightning, and tornadoes move across Central Florida, you need an accurate forecast to keep you and your family safe. Channel 9's Doppler 9000 radar network combines National Weather Service Doppler sites in Tampa and Melbourne, plus our new Orlando live Doppler site to pinpoint where severe weather is right now and where it's headed. Detecting storms from the Gulf Coast to the Atlantic, Channel 9's Doppler 9000 provides pinpoint accuracy down to 1 square block. That's weather coverage you can count on from Channel 9's Eyewitness News, Central Florida's news leader.
No problem. We can get you anything you want.
Great, great. You'll order for us?
Sure.
Smith Lumber. The tradition continues.
With Nick Belmonte, Mick Hubert back here at the ballpark. The Gators leading 3-1. And Nick, we're seeing some of the unusual today.
You see it right here. runner's interference. Let's see right here. Nicholson finds himself on the grass part. You've got to avoid the base runner who's making a play, clearly making a play. Nicholson needs to go to the outside of the play. He took the inside route and ended up on the grass. Easy play for the umpire, or easy call, I should say. And this ball may have gone under his glove. Anyway, it was a weird ball. It was hit off the end of the bat. Chuck Hazard hit, as you called it, a cue shot. And those balls are tough to handle because they have a lot of spin on them. And once they hit your glove, there's a likelihood that they'll spin out.
Great work by our Sunshine crew here at Foley Field. Tom Smith, our director, heading up the telecast today. We're happy that you've joined us. Mick Hubert, Nick Belmonte, bringing you Gator baseball this afternoon. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning as Courtney Moore leads it off for Georgia. Florida leading at 3-1. Moore was called out on strikes in the 3rd. McClendon has struck out 5. He hasn't walked anybody, but he has hit 1. There's another reason why he was successful last Sunday. He had good control. He walked only 1. And he had been walking a bunch. He leads the staff 42 walks. This is the 2nd straight outing, which it appears that he has gotten himself under control.
This is another situation for Courtney Moore to possibly drop a bunt down.
That's a base hit down the right field line. Moore, though, will settle for 1 as Nicholson throws back behind him, and Moore back in there at first base with a leadoff single.
Unless you're going to do that. Outstanding. Took the outside pitch, went with it, line drive.
And now back to the top of the batting order for Georgia as Dustin McNally now stepping in. Had an infield hit the last time.
Courtney Moore on the year, 5 for 6 in the stolen base department. And you can notice a difference in how Courtney Moore gets off the base. I believe he's just even with the base is how you should be. Your toes should be either with the front no longer than in the back of the base. You can see his toes are at least even with the back of the base. He's got a shorter trip back in case of a throw over. He gets back easily. If Wilkerson's in the same spot, he doesn't get picked off last inning.
Do a lot of base runners use the cutout of the grass there as how far they get to the lead?
You measure it, except the cutout of the base is different in every ballpark. It's not a standard thing. So you have to figure out where you're safe in relation to where the cutout is on your field. And then what I used to do on the road is you would go out to during batting practice and figure out what your normal lead would be, either 2.5 or the 3 steps, and find out where your foot is in relation to the cutout on that particular field. So it's not a set thing because it's wherever the groundskeeper decides to cut out of the base.
Ground ball into the hole. Ellis to second for 1. Eckstein's relay is not in time. They forced Moore, but they still have to deal with the very speedy McNally out at first base.
But this is a play that's very difficult, made easy by Ellis. You got 2 fast runners, tries to pull the outside pitch, and Eckstein, you see, he sets himself up where he's nice and balanced and knows he gets a little something on the throw to at least get the 1, doesn't rush it. That's a tough play made easy by Mark Ellis.
And that's why Ellis is staying at shortstop. Now, he went there a couple of weeks ago because of lower back spasms to Ty Martin. They were forced to play him there. A natural position for him, and he played so well they just didn't want to tamper with going back the other way, and they've gotten Martin at third base. There goes McNally. Here is the throw, and he is out at second base. Casey Smith threw a strike down there, and they applied the tag on Dustin McNally, who is the best base stealer on the Georgia team.
And the Gators have not been successful in this area this year. And Casey Smith just comes up gunning. This, you can see the ball lands right on the base. He couldn't have put it in a better spot. And that was not the easiest pitch to handle, too.
So now 2 out, nobody on base. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Another one like that, there will be a base runner.
Now, you got a number 2 hitter up here. You got to groove it and take your chances.
Yep, because they got the big home run guys. The next 2 on deck. Got the low strike.
I like the game that's being called today by Larry Wagner behind the plate. Outstanding job.
Let's see if he can throw one through there again. 3-1. And a base hit to the right side. McGirt didn't have the quick bat speed there, but enough to hit it between Eckstein and Andre on the right. Hit number 6.
Oh, what we like is, you know, instructors in baseball is he didn't try to pull the outside pitch, which is what Dustin McNally did. You don't pull that pitch. You hit the ball to the shortstop every time. This time he goes with it, finds a hole, has a little more authority where it could squirt by.
There's a strike to Crawford. Crawford having a good series, and a big guy at 6'3" and 190 pounder. His dad lettered at Georgia here in football in 1962, 3-4. Beautiful pinch. So it was pretty much a given thing that Crawford would play here. His parents and grandparents and a whole bunch of relatives are all Bulldog graduates. 0-2 the count. 2 out, runner at first. Just missed outside. McClendon striking out 5, walking no one.
And let's see, this is a situation where we thought maybe he should have spun him a breaking ball here, 1-2 count. Let's see if he goes for it here this time.
Again off the plate a little low.
Well, if you're going to throw a fastball, not bad. I think the off-speed pitch would entice him in a little bit more. But you can't leave it over the plate. You got to work that corner with it.
2-2 with 2 out. There's the hook, and see you later. 2 hits, no runs. McClendon looking in charge here as we go to inning number 6. 3-1 Gators.
Now you can play golf like the pros. Join the fun at the Toyota Golf Skills Challenge National Tour, America's most entertaining golf skills competition for all ages and abilities. Test your game on 8 different shots, just like the pros. You get 3 shots at each skill and a chance to win prizes from Toyota and Cobra Golf. Whether your handicap is 3 or 30, you'll have a great time. Pick up entry information at your local Toyota dealer or wherever you play golf. To reserve your tee time, call 1-800-932-8337 today.
Hey kids, how would you like to have your very own Major League batting glove?
Top of the 6th inning, and Nick, I think McClendon learned from something the last time.
Yeah, here's the breaking ball. It's a more enticing pitch to Crawford. It's the off-speed pitch, and with 2 strikes, he was working that corner, but just a change of speeds made it more enticing for Crawford to go. And you notice the spot he threw it, even though Crawford would, if perhaps he even got a bat on it, he wouldn't have been hurt by that location. Outstanding pitch by McClendon.
7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Gators. With Nick Belmonte, Mick Hubert here at Foley Field. The Gators now leading 6-1. And a check of the SEC scoreboard. South Carolina trying to salvage the final game of the series, leading Tennessee 5-3 in the 5th. Ole Miss likewise trying to win 1 against Alabama. Vanderbilt beat Kentucky 7-4. The second game just getting underway. Arkansas has been beaten twice by LSU, so the Hogs are trying to win 1, leading 9-1 in the 4th. And Mississippi State likewise, they got beat twice by Auburn yesterday at Dudy Noble Field in Starkville, and they're leading 4-0 early on in that ball game. And they have a beautiful tennis complex that you see there through the center field fence area. They hold the NCAA championships here in Athens seemingly about every year. They also have the College Tennis Hall of Fame here, Nick. It's quite a Impressive sight over there.
I walked over there last time we were in town and stood at center court. Yeah.
Leading off the bottom half of the sixth, the third baseman.
It was a feeling came over me. I felt like dating Brooke Shields after that.
You'll have to get in line. There's a ball driven to the wall by Aaron Anthony. A stand-up double for Anthony. It's hit number 7 for Georgia. By the way, I know that you wish Brooke and Andre the very best.
Absolutely. And he thought he had it all. That was the home run trot out of the box. Now he's going to admit later that he didn't think that, but I just saw it in the body English.
19th double for Anthony. Lance Shannon, the hitter. Well, I hope McClendon can stand the prosperity, because when the Gators got 3 in the 4th, Georgia threatened to tie the game, but they settled for 1. Now the Gators have just gotten 3 more in the top of the 6th. And here come the Dogs barking back again.
The one difference in this situation, though, is Matt has now gone 5 innings, and Josh Fogg, we're getting sort of in his territory. He's only thrown 1 hitter the entire weekend, and he could probably go 2-3 innings plus here. So, and he's up and throwing.
Josh Fogg.
With every out McClendon gets here, it saves Josh a few pitches later in this ball game. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Josh somewhere along the line today.
There's a strike. 2-2 to Shannon.
Actually, I was kidding to both of them in the dugout before the game, saying, Josh, you haven't thrown much this weekend. You could probably go 4 or 5. And then I said, well, the big guy's not going to give you that many chances. And Matt was sitting right there. And so far, Matt's done a nice job.
Ball 2, strike 2. That's bounced foul. Shannon is from Covington, Georgia. Played first couple of years at Georgia Tech. Transferred over, walked on. Says the most famous person he's ever met is Chipper Jones. Little inside out. Wilkerson on the hop. Tried to decoy there a little bit, but they've got him on the corners, Nick, with nobody out. Back-to-back hits. 8 hits now for Georgia. Second today for Shannon. Here is Shane Hopper.
And the Gators really looking 2 here. Play the defense back, 2 up the middle. Doesn't matter what happens to that runner at third. You got a 5-run lead.
Hopper 0 for 2. Fouls this one back onto the screen. Now Casey Smith going out to have a brief word with McClendon. McClendon was one of only 7 picks in the first 5 rounds not to sign professionally and opt for collegiate baseball. He was selected in the supplemental first round by the Reds, taken as the 33rd pick last year. He had a 10-2 record at Orlando's Dr. Phillips High School last year and led his team to the 6A state championship. 1.09 earned run average last season. Curveball has been effective for him.
He's got a good one today.
There's the runners. It's Anthony at third and Shannon at first. Gators leading 6-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. He painted the inside corner for his 7th strikeout.
Second time he's gone down looking. This fastball looks like right down the heart, maybe the inner third. But I tell you got runners in scoring position. You gotta throw the bat at the ball somewhere. At least fight it off, foul it off.
Chris Hayes now the hitter. McClendon 7 strikeouts today. That ties a career high. He struck out 7 in his very first Gator start against Winthrop back on February 1st. He went 7 2/3 innings that day and got the win. And now today his 7th strikeout here with 1 out in the 6th. McClendon's trying to really turn it around for himself in a couple of ways. He kept it low in the zone and won last Sunday. And now he's trying to win on the road, Nick. He has really struggled on the road. 5-1 at home and 0-4 away from McKeithen Stadium. That's all part of the development.
The maturation process, exactly.
2-1 pitch. Bouncing ball. Ellis going to step on the bag and make the throw. Andre, they say, has dropped the ball and it will be safe at first base.
And you can't score that an error because you can't anticipate a double play. But if you ever were going to score an error, you can see Ellis decides, well, I'm going to not chance to throw.
You know, that allowed to score too. It's 6-2 now.
It's hard. You know, look in the second look, it looked like he may have hopped it, and it was the indecision by Ellis. So maybe it was a tougher chance than it looked previous for Andre over there. But you can't presuppose a double play and score that any kind of throwing error or error on the first baseman. It looked like it short hopped it.
Here's a throw back to first. The runner back.
And you feel bad for McClendon because that pitch should have gotten him out of the inning. The one that forced the ground ball.
Gators getting 3 runs in the top of the inning. Georgia 1. It's happened twice. Gators leading 6-2. That's in the dirt. And a wild pitch. Hayes takes second base. That is the 3rd wild pitch today against McClendon. Ball 3 and strike 1. Andy Osbolt. 0 for 2 in today's game. 1 for 9 in the series. It's a fly ball to right field. It's curving. It is a foul ball. Just missing a 2-run home run, but foul by about 6 or 8 feet. And a souvenir for that fan. He's got loge seats out there, Nick.
Those are the loge seats. They're, you know, plenty of good seats still available out there if you're in the neighborhood.
I just slide on by.
Yeah, literally. And as you said, just missed wrapping around the fair pole.
Not too many white poles down there.
No, that's funny. I'm glad you brought that up.
Curveball is high and Osbolt stumbles out of the batter's box.
You usually see them yellow so you can gauge the contrast of the white ball that's going near them. But this could add to the confusion. Maybe that's just the primer and the yellow hasn't shown up. There it is. That's the 3-1 breaking ball, and whoop, sniper.
Pretty good move.
Yeah.
You know, I think I know why they painted white here. I mean, I'm not going to paint anything orange. Georgia, you know.
Well, and paint it red. Paint it black. Sometimes it's going to give you a contrast with the white baseball.
Could paint it kind of that fluorescent yellow, couldn't it?
Well, that's what you see more often than not.
Yeah.
And it looks like Hendy's going to make the move here.
Gators leading 6-2, but that last ball, it was fouled by 6 or 8 feet, may have shaken him up in the dugout, saying maybe we've gotten all we're going to get from Mr. McClendon today. He leaves the ball game a leader. He cannot lose it as he's trying to win on the road for the first time. And so a new pitcher coming on with the Gators leading 6-2, and we'll come right back to reset the stage here at Foley Field in just a moment.
Consumer Reports has a great deal for you.
How great is it?
It starts with our 1997 buying guide. Not $8.95, but free.
Wow!
And when it's ready, the 98 guide is a special bonus.
Double wow!
Plus, how to clean practically anything. And $11.95 value for free. And you get them all, along with the next 12 issues of Consumer Reports magazine. Not at the newsstand price of $66.25.
How much?
Just $24 when you call this number.
It's a great deal.
The quest continues as the Coach of the Year leads the SEC champs down the road to Omaha. Tennessee collides with Florida Saturday at 3 on Sunshine.
When the game is over, it's tough for a lot of children. Help level the playing field. Call Child Reach, 1-800-538-5900. Helping needy children overseas since 1937. Formerly Foster Parents Plan.
Ole Miss 1, Alabama 0 in the bottom of the second. In Starkville, it's Mississippi State.
Well, the Gators leading 6-2, and Josh Fogg is now coming into the ball game. Fogg, a record of 5-2, making his 33rd appearance. He's among the league leaders in appearances, 5 saves, 2.88 earned run average. Opponents are hitting just .224 against Fogg, who has struck out 65 in 65+ innings. Almost a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Fogg pitched here on Friday night, but wasn't eligible for a save in the game. Wilkerson had gone 8 2/3. Fogg came on and got the final out. He got the final out with the bases loaded, but Fogg had walked a guy, which set up that situation, so there was no save awarded to him. But McClendon, 5 2/3 innings, 8 hits, couple of earned runs, walking just 1 a moment ago, striking out 7, equaling his career high. If he should win the ball game, he would go to 6-5 on the year. So both the starting pitchers are now out of the game. Well, if Josh Fogg is on, Nick, we should see a very wicked breaking ball. First pitch, fastball is outside to Courtney Moore.
In contrast, a guy like Josh Fogg, the year he's had, 224 batting against, and McClendon, who just left the game, opponents were hitting 317 against coming into the game.
Another fastball missing.
Well, the last thing he needs to be doing here, the number 9 hitter, is missing. He can go ahead and, I know what he tried to do, establish the strike early in the count. Now he's going to have to go ahead and challenge him.
There's a strike. Gators leading 6-2. Georgia with runners at first and second, 2 out. There's a throw back down to second. Just back in there is Hayes.
You want to make sure, if you're going to go ahead and make throws like that, that you got a legitimate chance of getting a guy out, because the downside is you don't want to make unnecessary throws, because if you throw it away here, you got 2 runners in scoring position where a hit can make it a 6-4 ball game.
Breaking ball a knee bender. See you later. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left. We go to the 7th. Gators 6, Dogs 2.
The Bobcats are ready to roar, tearing up the competition, pouncing on their prey, and ripping up the arena. These cats will make you purr as they claw their way to the top. The Bobcats and Predators, June 14th. Road to Omaha. Tennessee collides with Florida, Saturday at 3 on Sunshine.
Gators leading by a score of 6-2 here. What a lovely day in Athens. We move to the top of the 7th inning. And a reminder that the 9th-ranked Florida men's tennis team hosts the 1997 NCAA Men's Tennis South Regional on May 9th through the 11th at Scott Linder Tennis Stadium. The Gators are seated first in the region, and the regional winner advances to the National Team Championships in Los Angeles. So get your tickets for next weekend's men's tennis regionals by calling 375-GO-UF. Area code, of course, is 352. Keith Brownlee on the hill for Georgia. He's in relief for the starter, Zach Fraser. Both starting pitchers went 5 2/3 innings today, and they're both in the decision columns right now. McClendon stands to win it. Fraser on the hook for the loss unless Georgia rallies here in the last third of the ball game. It's the top of the 7th as Travis Andre steps in. He's 2 for 3 in the game. Couple of singles, and he flied out to right in the 6th inning.
Well, Brownlee's job clearly to hold the Gators right here and let his team have a chance to chip away. Zach Fraser. Ice in the old shoulder and arm.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's a tough pitch to hit.
Drops in the fastball here. You can see, watch the movement as it comes back in. Now that's just a fastball with movement as it tails back into the right-handed hitter.
Josh Hudson, 2 for 3 in the game. Swings and misses. Hudson's average now at 253. Sharply hit, but curving away and fouled. One hopping the wall down there.
As you can see, that 90 College World Series at Steve Weber's club. Their only title here. Steve Weber's going to be a pitching coach at Oneonta in the New York Penn League, and there's Coach Webb's team's flag.
That's the only place in the park that they display that championship. You got to look hard to see that. It's hanging on the pole in center field right under Old Glory there. They have the 87 and 90 College World Series insignias on the wall, but nowhere is it written anywhere that they won the 90 championship. Other than that flag they proudly display in center field. We were kidding about that on Friday, that the 87 logo there in the left field line, they could there down there have said been there. On the right field one where it says 90 College World Series, done that.
Jeff Cooper was the captain of that 1990 team. Played for me in Salt Lake City. Rich Bielski was a member of the 87 team. Played for me in 1990 in Salt Lake City. Good ball player, Bulldog player.
A full count to Josh Hudson. Hudson playing in left field today. Been behind the plate on several occasions. Another fly ball to right field. Crawford is back at the track. Boy, he took a rather circuitous route to get there, but he got there. made the catch.
Almost ran a little bit too far and then realized it and had to come back and get it. Puts on the brakes and, okay. A nice play by Crawford. Hey, first rule outfield, catch the ball. Doesn't matter how it looks.
Yeah, there's no style points in this sport, is it?
Oh, catch it.
Ty Martin has a couple of runs batted in the ballgame, despite no hits.
Unlike rhythm gymnastics, where you have to catch the ball and have style points. You know, when they throw the ball up in the air and they do a few spins, I like that sport.
You know, that would change the face of this sport. If instead of the Gators were leading 6-2, it might be 6.1397 to 2.5031. You know, you take a little bit off for those 3 errors they've made.
Okay.
Gators have 5 more hits. Give them a couple of points there.
Yeah, sure.
You know, get a double play, you get a couple extra points there.
Take off a little bit for Brownlee's socks.
Oh, yeah. They've got a bunch of high socks today. You know, that's interesting. You know, you talk about the uniform. We've talked on the previous telecasts about the Deion Sanders situation.
Yeah. Well, look, Deion will go low one day, high the next.
That was my point.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you all be high or low?
No, personal preference. It's you got to express yourself there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to stand up and stretch. Express myself in that manner. 6-2 Gators coming back on Sunshine.
Are you ready for ESPN's X Games trials? Catch all the action May 6th through 8th at Disney's new wide world of sports. Come on, Orlando. It's time you get into the mix. See it live, in your face. Watch the best in the world fight, play, and board their way into the X Games. ESPN's X Games trial. It's the experience you won't dare miss.
Brought to you locally by Time Warner Cable.
At Earth Motorsports in Kissimmee, we have fun for everyone. No matter how you like to ride, everybody's doing it with Sea-Doo. High performance, towing, skiing, fast, smooth, stable. Earth Motorsports and Sea-Doo will keep you there year-round. Excitement, fun, relaxation, all at Earth Motorsports, all on Sea-Doo. Come to Earth Motorsports in Kissimmee. We're on US 441, 1 mile south of Tupperware on the Orange Blossom Trail in Kissimmee.
Well, it's the bottom of the 7th. The Gators leading 6-2, and Coach Robert Sapp trying to rally his troops to beat those Gators. Boy, he has just done a marvelous job in his collegiate coaching career, Nick.
Outstanding job. 4 JUCO titles in the Junior College World Series at Grand Junction, Colorado. 890 wins, 181. That's some coaching there.
Well, he's a former dog second baseman from the early 60s. And good for him at age 55 to get a chance to not only return to the alma mater, but to coach Division I baseball.
And this will be a team to be reckoned with, I'm sure, in the future.
They're 25-25, 6-20 in the league. And their goal, of course, not only to take the series from Florida, but to try and finish above 500 this season. Dustin McNally, 1 for 3, hitting .339. Josh Fogg in relief of the starter, Matt McClendon. Got that curveball working. 0-2 is the count. Now we're coming into the final week of regular season baseball. Now we've mentioned South Florida at Florida Wednesday at 4 o'clock. You'll hear it on the Gator Radio Network. And then the regular season finale weekend, Tennessee in Gainesville next weekend. And Nick and I will wrap up our Sunshine telecast next Sunday. So be with us for exciting Gator baseball. Florida 6, Georgia 2. Bottom half of the 7th. And Fogg now has faced 2 and struck out 2.
See the bottom dropping out of that breaking ball, and a pitch that has given the Georgia hitters problems all day. When McClendon was throwing a breaking ball in that spot, and Fogg, who always throws the ball usually in that area, so he should close the deal here.
There's a strike to McGirt. McGirt 1 for 3.
So I may send you a postcard from where, what's the name of that street, Lawrenceville?
Lawrenceville, yeah.
If I get lost going back today after the game.
All right.
Okay. I already know I'm going to be in trouble. I'll tell you in a second. Why is the downtowner a motel on the outskirts of town is what I want to know. See, that's going to throw me off. Couldn't believe it. I looked to my left, the downtowner motel. I'm going, please, get in the city.
A couple of hops for Eckstein. And a tough last one, but he recovers and throws him out. 2 away. You really have had some tough travels with the Gators this year. I mean, I know you've had travels elsewhere, but for these telecasts here, weather problems, cars that you've had to rent along the way.
Yeah.
I know when I see you, you always have a story or two.
I do.
What about that one car you rented? They said you couldn't drive it out of the city.
Well, I was running, this was a couple of weeks ago in Orlando. Our flight got canceled, and I had to fly to Orlando, and they were out of cars. And I said, do you have anything? And they said, Metro. And I said, what, I can't leave Orlando? And it was the brand. Which is, when you're 6'3", it's a tough ride. Until I figured out that you could actually drive it from the back seat.
Just put that front seat down, right?
That's it. Got some strange looks on the road, though.
3-0 the count.
Put my carry-on luggage on the accelerator and had cruise control. It was a
3-0 pitches right there for a strike at the knees.
But I'm sure for most people that car is fine, but I wouldn't recommend it for the over 6 foot.
Another chopper going out to Ellis at short, measures the throw, and the inning is over. 1-2-3. We go to the 8th inning here at Foley Field. It's Florida 6 and Georgia 2.
Oh, my! The opportunity to relive the sights and sounds of the most memorable season in Gator football history is now available on both audio and video with the Gators official championship combo package. You can purchase the videotape #1 for all, the audio tapes, the one to remember, now for only $29.95, including shipping and handling. Call 1-800-538-2666.
What a beautiful way to spend the day at classic Hialeah Park. The tradition continues. Great thoroughbred racing at historic Hialeah Park. The colors, the pageantry, the excitement, a wide array of foods. It all starts at 1:15. So what are you waiting for? Head for Hialeah and get racing.
Through 7 innings, the Gators have 6 runs on 13 hits, no errors. Georgia 2-8-3 with Nick Belmonte, Mick Hubert back at the ballpark. Hoping that you'll join us again for more exciting Gator baseball on Sunshine next Sunday. Florida, Tennessee. Game time Sunday afternoon. And you can see it live right here on Sunshine Network. Top of the 8th.
Number 18, David Eckstein.
David Eckstein will lead it off.
Let's go.
Eckstein has a couple of hits today. 2 for 4. creeping up on that all-time Gator hit list. Boy, look out. Oof. Over near the Gator third base dugout. Good thing they got that screening in front of it.
Somebody escaped injury. There's the Duke.
Yeah.
Duke Warner, the trainer. Dave Warner. Luckily for us in the Gators, we haven't seen him much on the field this year. Oh, goodness.
Eckstein turns on this ball, and he's got a one-hopper to the wall, and he cruises into second with a double. A 3-hit game for David Eckstein, who has 9 hits in the series. And Nick, when we bust up here on Thursday, the hitting coach for the Gators, let me go ahead and look at the swing there.
You can see it down and through, and really flirting with a home run here. Hits it about 335, 340 out of most ballparks in the league, but 350 down the lines here.
Mark Ellis now the hitter.
Trying to get him over to third with less than 2 outs.
Flanagan foul. Steve Kling, the Gator hitting coach, was joking on the bus ride up here. The Gators bust up to Athens this time.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that here in a second.
And we got on the bus, and of course, knowing Eckstein needs 12 hits, Kling says, hey, he'll get that by Sunday, meaning 3 4-hit games. You know what?
Eckstein, far off, yeah.
He got 4 hits on Friday. He got 2 hits yesterday, now 3 today, so he's just 3 hits away from the all-time leader. Oh, we had a lovely bus ride through the countryside.
Yeah. A little minor league life for you, Mick. Try that about every 4 days, doing one of those.
This one is fouled off. Well, you know, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because as we looked into the dugout a moment ago and saw Dave Warner before coming to Florida as the trainer for the team,
right.
He was in the minor leagues, and he made that statement exactly. So this was the minor leagues, and he said, we're on the bus every 4 days.
That's the average, right? So, that, you know, the Gators usually fly to their games, but rarely a bus trip in their season. At least one over a couple hours, and this one was it 4, 5, 6 hours?
Yeah, it was
actually
the latter.
6.
Runner at second, nobody out.
Well, Mark Ellis right here, when he fouled off that pitch a couple pitches ago, inside out, to try to hit the ball onto the right side and move David on over to third.
Popped up. McGirt got it. 1 out. Gators are leading 6-2, having scored 3 runs in the 4th and another 3 spot in the 6th. Now there's action down there in that dog bullpen. They got Chris Hall down there. He's the right-hander, and the left-hander is Chris Stinger.
Well, they have a base open here. Let's see if they put him on. Yep.
Now Wilkerson.
One almost gets away. This is something that you don't practice that much as a pitcher, and that's the intentional walk.
Well, is it harder for a submariner to make an intentional walk?
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. But it's something that, you know, more times than not, you'll see some kind of a throw that a catcher has to make a great play on. It's just something you don't practice, really.
Well, if you're throwing submarine style or down under in normal situations, why wouldn't you just throw it? And here is the Wilkerson taking a swing at it, and the ball getting away from Osbold. And that means that Eckstein advances to third. Boy, visions, Nick, of the
there you go
75 World Series, I think it was.
With I believe it was Johnny Bench was the hitter. And now they're going to say, to heck with that. Runners at third. We're not going to walk them.
3-1, and now they bring the infield in.
Now, I don't know how they scored that last one. If it was a pitch that was swung on and missed, and it got back to the screen, the runner wasn't going on the pitch.
Well, what I was about to say was, why does he throw it submarine or intentional pass. Why don't you just throw it overhand? There's a slow roller to third. Anthony looks the runner back and throws Wilkerson out. So the Gators gain a base, but Georgia has gained an out. They were Georgia was about to settle for runners at first and second with one out. Now the Gators have a runner at third with two out. Go figure.
So a break for Georgia. They'll gladly trade 90 feet to get a Brad Wilkerson out. So the Dogs, I don't know if Coach Sapp just got a little miffed at Wilkerson swinging and missing at an intentional walk and said, hey, let's just go ahead and get this guy.
Casey Smith swings and hits a fly ball, shallow left coming in. The left fielder, McNally, and the Gators had a leadoff double, but he stranded at third. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It remains 6-2 Gators.
Just imagine the best entertainment value in South Florida. The Florida Marlins present 4 for $34. You get 4 mezzanine reserve tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, and 4 bags of peanuts, all for $34. A great value. We'll even throw in a program. Call 930-HITS or stop by the stadium box office today and purchase your 4 for $34 ticket packages. 4 for $34 is available all season, subject to seating availability. Be here when it happens.
Are you ready for some volleyball? Well, get ready to spike it up. Spike It Up, the official amateur volleyball tour of the USVBA and NBC Sports, is open to players of all ages and abilities. Whether you play once a day or once a year, we have a division that's right for you. Spike It Up brings the ultimate weekend with exciting volleyball-themed events and action. For an entry form, call the Spike It Up hotline at 1-800-680-PLAY. That's 1-800-680-7529.
With Nick Belmonte, I'm Mick Hubert back here at Foley Field. Bottom half of the 8th coming, and the Gators leading by a score of 6-2. Gators have out hit them 14-8. And a leadoff double, but couldn't advance Eckstein there. So now Georgia tries to take advantage here. Against Josh Fogg, Nick Fogg has faced 4 and got all 4 out, striking out 2 of them.
2 strikeouts, 2 ground balls. That's just the way you want to see it. Gary Henderson has got to be happy with that performance so far.
Aaron Anthony leading it off. Anthony had a double and scored a run in the 6th inning. Right-hander Josh Fogg delivers curveball up and in. Well, when the Gators this year have held the opponent to 4 runs or less, they are 19-3.
I'm surprised they even lost that many.
There's a ball driven to right field, way back, and it is gone. Aaron Anthony, opposite field, solo home run, cuts the Gator lead to 6-3.
Nice job of hitting going with this pitch. The guy that started the season off strong and slacked off as of late, but we've seen him hit the ball pretty good here. You can see him going with the pitch. We said you can't hit opposite